Have you ever felt that life isn't exactly falling apart, but your mind feels tired, burdened, and restless all the time? Today, we're going to talk about how to calm your mind when life feels heavy. So you stop carrying more than you were meant to. Life doesn't always overwhelm us with noise. Sometimes it overwhelms us with quiet pressure, unspoken worries, constant expectations, and thoughts that never seem to rest when the mind feels heavy. Even normal days feel exhausting. But calm is not something you chase. But calm is not something you chase. It is something you gently return to. Let's understand how to calm the mind when life feels heavy, not by escaping responsibilities, but by changing how we relate to them. When life feels heavy, our first instinct is to fight the feeling. We tell ourselves, I shouldn't feel like this. We compare our pain with others and say, people have it worse. But the truth is, the mind does not become calm by being corrected, it becomes calm by being understood. The moment you resist what you feel, you create a second layer of suffering. There is already pain, and then there is frustration about having that pain. This inner argument quietly drains your energy. You are not tired because life is difficult. You are tired because you are constantly pushing yourself to feel different than you do. Acceptance is often misunderstood. Acceptance is often misunderstood. Accepting the weight does not mean you like it. It does not mean you give up or stop trying. It simply means you stop fighting reality in your mind. When you allow yourself to say, yes, this feels heavy right now, something softens inside you, your breath deepens, your thoughts slow down, the mind no longer has to defend itself. Many people fear that if they accept their emotions, they will become weak. In reality, the opposite happens. The strongest people are not those who ignore their feelings, but those who ignore their feelings, but those who can sit with them calmly. Think of the mind like a clenched fist. The more tightly you hold it, the more tired your hand becomes. Acceptance is slowly opening the fist. Nothing dramatic changes, but the strain reduces. When life feels heavy, give yourself permission to pause. You don't need to explain your feelings to everyone. You don't need to justify your exhaustion. You don't need to have all the answers today. Tell yourself gently, this is how I feel right now, and that is okay. This simple sentence carries immense power. The mind often becomes heavy because we demand clarity before it is ready. But clarity does not come from pressure, it comes from patience. When you accept the weight, you stop running from it. And when you stop running, the weight slowly loses its power over you. Life will still have challenges, responsibilities will still exist, but your relationship with them changes. Instead of carrying everything with tension, you begin to carry things with understanding. And understanding always feels lighter than resistance. Calm does not arrive the moment problems disappear. Calm arrives the moment you stop punishing yourself for feeling human. Acceptance is not the end of the journey, it is the doorway. Once the mind feels safe, it becomes open to healing. When life feels heavy, the mind immediately goes into problem solving mode. It starts asking questions without pause. What if this goes wrong? What should I do next? Why is this goes wrong? What should I do next? Why is this happening to me? Although these thoughts feel useful, they often create more noise than clarity. Most of the time, our suffering does not come from the situation itself. It comes from the constant commentary running in the mind. The mind replays the past, imagines the future, and tries to control outcomes that are not yet real. This endless mental activity makes even manageable problems feel overwhelming. A calm mind does not mean an empty mind. It means a mind that knows when to be silent. Before fixing anything in life, the mind needs rest. Trying to make decisions while mentally exhausted is like driving through fog. You move, but without clear direction. When the mind is loud, solutions remain hidden. When the mind becomes quiet, solutions reveal themselves naturally. This is why rushing for answers often leads to confusion the mind cannot see clearly. While it is drowning in thoughts, begin by observing your thoughts instead of following them. You don't need to stop thinking. You only need to stop believing that every thought deserves your attention. Ask yourself gently, is this thought helping me right now? If it isn't, let it pass like a cloud in the sky. You don't chase clouds, you allow them to move on. Silence is not avoidance, it is preparation. A few minutes of stillness can bring more clarity than hours of anxious thinking. This stillness might come through quiet breathing, a short walk, or simply sitting without distraction. The goal is not to escape the problem, the goal is to approach it with a mind that is steady, not shaken. When the mind is quiet, priorities become clearer, you stop reacting and start responding. You realize what needs attention now and what can wait. Life feels heavy when everything feels urgent. A quiet mind teaches you that not everything requires immediate action. Fixing life without calming the mind first is like trying to untangle knots with trembling hands. Once the hands are steady, the knots loosen easily. Calm is not the absence of responsibility. It is the foundation of wise action. When you learn to quiet the mind before fixing the situation, life stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling manageable again. When life feels heavy, the mind is rarely where the body is. You may be sitting in a room, but your thoughts are somewhere else, revisiting a mistake, replaying a conversation, or worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. This is where much of our mental weight comes from. The mind feels burdened not because the present moment is unbearable, but because it keeps traveling away from it. Most anxiety is born in the future. Most regret lives in the past, but peace exists only in the present. The mind creates heaviness by carrying time that does not exist anymore or has not arrived yet. You cannot do what is already gone, and you cannot fully control what is yet to come. But the mind keeps trying and exhausts itself in the process. Returning to the present is not a street thrill idea meant only for quiet retreats. It is a practical way to rest the mind. When you gently bring your attention back to now, the mind finds something stable to hold on to. The present moment does not demand explanations, it only asks for awareness, Storio. Notice your breath, not control it, but to observe it. Feel your feet on the ground. Sense the weight of your body where you are sitting. These simple actions remind the mind, I am here. I am safe right now. When the mind feels heavy, it often says, I need to fix my entire life. The present moment replies softly, you only need to be here. Life becomes overwhelming when we turn it into one large problem. But when broken into moments, life becomes manageable again. The present moment does not carry yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's fears. It carries only what is happening now. And now is almost always survivable. Many people wait for their situation to change before they allow themselves peace. But peace does not wait for life to become perfect. Peace appears when attention stops wandering. When you stay present, even difficult moments soften. You stop adding imagined suffering to real challenges. You deal with what is in front of you, not what might happen later. This does not mean you ignore responsibilities or avoid planning. It means you plan when it is time to plan and rest when it is time to rest. Presence brings balance. A heavy mind lives in what if, a calm mind lives in what if. Every time your thoughts drift, gently bring them back, not with force, not with frustration, but with kindness. The mind learns calm the same way. A child learns trust through patience and reassurance. You don't need to solve everything today. You only need to show up fully for this moment. And when you do, life slowly stops feeling so heavy. When life feels heavy, the mind looks for certainty. And when it cannot find it, it creates anxiety. This is why calm does not come from big breakthroughs, but from small, repeatable practices that teach the mind it is safe. Many people wait for motivation to feel calm, but calm is not a feeling you wait for. It is a state you train. The mind relaxes when it knows what to expect. Simple routines, waking up at the same time, eating mindfully, taking short pauses, create a sense of stability. They quietly tell the mind, you are not lost. There is structure here. Discipline is often misunderstood as pressure. In reality, gentle discipline is protection. It protects the mind from chaos, from overthinking, from emotional exhaustion. When your day has even a little rhythm, the mind has less space to wander into fear. Uncertainty feels heavier when everything feels unplanned. Routine becomes an anchor. Silence is one of the most powerful daily practices. A few minutes without screens, without noise, without conversation allows the mind to settle. Silence is not emptiness, it is recovery. Another powerful practice is gratitude, not forced positivity, but honest awareness. Notice what is still working in your life, your breath, your ability to think, someone who cares, a moment of rest. Gratitude gently shifts the mind from scarcity to stability. It reminds you that even in heavy times, not everything is falling apart. Physical care also matters. The mind cannot feel calm in a body that is constantly exhausted. Adequate sleep, slow movement, and proper nourishment are not luxuries, they are foundations. Small acts of self care are signals. They tell the mind, I am being looked after. And when the mind feels cared for, it stops sounding alarms. You don't need to change your entire lifestyle overnight. Choose one or two practices and stay consistent. Consistent sit consistent, consistent sit consistent. Over time these small practices accumulate. The mind learns that even when life feels heavy, there is something stable to return to. Calm is not created in moments of ease, it is created in moments of regular care. When you build daily practices that create inner safety, the mind stops bracing for impact and starts resting again, and starts resting again. And slowly, life feels lighter, not because it changed, but because you did. Life will not always feel light. There will be days when your mind feels crowded and your heart feels tired. This does not mean you're failing. It means you are human. You don't need to carry everything at once. You don't need to have all the answers today. Breathe. Slow down, let your mind rest where your body already is. Calm is not the absence of problems, it is the ability to sit gently with life as it is, the ability to sit gently with life as it is. When you stop fighting the weight, it slowly becomes easier to carry. Be patient with your thoughts, be kind to your emotions. And remember, peace is not something you chase, it is something you allow. Even when life feels heavy, calm is always within reach.